Good morning, guys, and welcome to Love Qualified. My name is Joanny, and this is another PA school vlog. This is Special Topics Week 3. I am so excited for what we're going to do today. So today is going to be a 9 till 3:30 or 4 days. It's going to be filled with loads of practical stuff, and we've been divided into two groups. But throughout the day, we're going to be having venous access practical, so how to do cannulations, how to take blood, how to take ABG, so arterial blood gases, giving oxygen, and also IV fluids and all of that stuff, and nebulizers. So it's going to be filled with so much fun, I hope. I'm so looking forward to that. I am ready. It's 8:33 now, ready to go to uni because we start at 9 a.m. This morning I woke up at around 6:30ish, did my devotions, did some writing. Sometimes I like to put in a little bit of writing in the morning. So for some of you who don't know, I am working on a novel, and this morning I've just been sat here just still trying to work in a little bit of just try to do a little bit of writing before I leave. I'm just waiting for my friend to be ready, and then we're gonna go together to uni. So yeah, those are the struggles of a writer. I just try to fit in some writing time whenever I can, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes. But anyway, that's enough about that. I am going to uni now, and I'm gonna try as much as possible to show you guys what we do this week, and also how I'm going to be preparing for my hospital placements next week. So let's go on the journey. So we had a session on just different oxygenation masks, and we looked at the bag valve mask and the nasal cannulas and the non-rebreathe masks and loads of different ones, and when you would use them, and when they're indicated for oxygenating patients. And also we had another session all about IV fluids and how you would set them up, the different types of fluids, when you would use them, and also just how to set them up on the drip stand. Normally in hospital the nurses do take charge with setting up the drips and the IV fluids and stuff, but it was just a good way to teach us how to do it.
Just like scratch, okay?
Because even when I was like,
Look at her face, Lily, what are you doing?
Are you okay?
I'm scared.
You're scared, don't be scared, okay?
Don't do that.
So 90 degrees.
Same me when I'm on holiday.
And the needle up.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna
90. Yeah, 90, yeah.
Oh no, not the hotel.
You not come and kidnap me and take
Aspirate. Do you want to aspirate?
Aspirate first.
No breath. And then put back
And
in.
then put it back in.
Oh my gosh, that's my blood. Oh my god, that's too much.
Hey, the water is dripping off.
Out. Oh my god, I think the thing is sharp. Put the sharp in the. Oh dear.
Calm down, no, don't finish me.
Hey guys, so we just had 3 sessions this morning. We had IM injections, or IM subcutaneous and intradermal injections. We had oxygen and nebulizers, all of that kind of stuff, and then we had IV fluids. So we're on a break now. I'm gonna go home for lunch and then come back for the rest of the afternoon. I think cannulation, ABGs, and venal and taking bloods, I think. So yeah. So an arterial blood gas is basically a blood sample that is taken from the radial artery that's in the arm. It's a very painful procedure, but it's very useful, and it's done in patients who have low oxygen saturations and who are deteriorating. It basically helps you to look at the pH of the blood. It helps you to look at if the patient's end organs are being well perfused. It helps you to look at whether the patient is in acidosis or alkalosis, and just to look at all the different blood gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, and also other things like bicarbonate and glucose and hemoglobin, and just to look at the levels and to see if the patient is, how unwell the patient is. So in this clip, we're practicing how to take a blood sample to carry out various tests such as full blood count or liver function tests. And this is a very important skill to learn how to do, especially if you're working in hospital, because the baseline blood tests we have to do on loads of patients is a very important skill to learn. And it can be a lot trickier than it looks, but it was quite fun, like learning how to take the blood with using a butterfly needle and using some other techniques as well. So that's what we're doing in this video.
Just pre-fill that and make sure that this is opened. We're gonna put that there, open like that, and then obviously you do the tourniquet. You only put this on when you're about to start. Make sure that you palpate. So after you've palpated, then you can like wipe, and then once this is already tied beforehand, you know the drill. Then I'm gonna take this out of the packet. And then we hold it like this, yeah? Does that sound cool? Sorry, not supposed to touch it. And then I'm gonna just put that into the vein. So we're gonna advance. And we're looking for flashback. So you've noticed there's flashback there, which means that you stop there. So we'll stop on this one. And then we're gonna push this in, but this can't move. Oh my gosh, that has to stay there. So I'm gonna push this in, making sure this doesn't move. Thank you for clarifying that. So once it's in, then you can keep that there and then pull this. And you make sure you occlude the vessel at the top so that the blood doesn't come out. Oh, and then we're gonna flush it.
Yeah.
Okay. And once we've flushed it, I'm just gonna hold this down and occlude the vessel again and pull it out. And then I'm gonna pull. Oh goodness me! Usually they start on this side, isn't it?
Look, anyone, look. You just need to just here.
Oopsies. Pull it out there. Make sure it's like straight, and then pull it out there. Like that. And you put your name and everything, the name and the date when you put it on, and then you just stick it over patient.
So another thing that I need to show you guys are all the admin stuff and the printing that I've done in preparation for placement. So this is a folder that I used in my undergraduate degree for my cellular and molecular biology module, and I'm just reusing the same folder really. I plan to keep all my placement notes and stuff that I need for placement in this folder because we are going to have exams for all our core placements. So what I wanted to do was print out all the learning objectives for all the core placements, what I'm supposed to learn by the end of those placements to help me keep on track so that I can do my revision as I go along. Remember that we've already learned all the theory and we're supposed to have covered all the conditions in the matrix last year. So this year is going to be more about revising, reminding myself of everything that I've learned and applying that on placement. So I need to make sure that I keep revising as I go along. So the first thing I printed out was my calendar. Well, this is just like all the days that we have, all the university days that we have up until December. This is for the first term. So even though we have placements Monday to Fridays most weeks, we do have one Monday every month where we come to university for something, one thing or the other. So we're still going to be writing case histories, doing our courseworks and stuff. So we're going to come back for help with that. We have some sessions on professionalism, revision days, and just case history supports and clinical skills practice and stuff like that. So I thought I would print this out and put it up on my wall so I know which days I'm not going on placement, which days I need to be at university. Now the next thing I printed out clinical placement objectives for every single placement that I'm going to be having. I'm going to give you an example with my care of the elderly placement, which is the first one that I'm starting next week. So this document basically tells you the goal of that placement, the objectives, so what you're supposed to learn by the end of the placement. It goes through all the where you should be in terms of clinical judgment, diagnosis management, clinical planning, prescribing, and also the general objectives, so all the conditions that they expect you to know how to diagnose, treat, and manage by the end of the placement. And then it just breaks down some different things according to different terms, where they think that you should be at the end of the placement. So I thought this would be really useful for me to have, a really useful document for me to have, so that I can make sure that I'm on track with all my placements. So when the time comes for me to write the exams, I would know that I've covered all the objectives for the individual placements. So after care of the elderly, I have my obstetrics and gynecology placement. Then I have mental health. And then I have pediatrics, and then I have general medicine or acute medicine. Then I have general practice. I'm so looking forward to this. The learning objectives for this is so long because obviously it's actually so long. It covers like almost all of our matrix, all the conditions here, which is so long. Then after that, I'm going to the emergency department. And then surgical placement. And then after my surgical placement, I have my elective, which is also in general medicine, so acute medicine. So another thing that I printed out is my DOPS form. So DOPS are direct observation of clinical skills forms. So these are all the procedural skills that we need to perform on placement, and we need to get these signed off. So things like cannulation, taking ABG or VBGs, taking bloods, catheterization, suturing, all of these things that we need to, these skills that someone needs to watch us do it on placement and sign us off as competent to carry out these skills. So there's a number of them that required ones that we have to do by the end of the year. So I just printed out a couple of those forms, and I will make sure that I start getting those skills ticked out from the very first placement, I guess. And then after my DOPS forms, I printed quite a few of them. And then I also printed out my timesheet. So it's very different from my timesheet for GP placement last year, because for last year we had a timesheet for every term, just one side of the paper, because for every term we only went in once a week, every Wednesday, so that covered like one page. But for this year, we have timesheets for every week, and every day, like I said, you have to get someone to sign it by the time you leave. So you have timesheets for Monday to Sunday. Sometimes you can work weekends or do night shifts and all of that, and you calculate your hours as you go along. They're very strict on hours. We need to do, I think, 35 hours on a week when we're in Monday to Friday, and on a week where we're in uni on the Monday, we need to get at least 30 hours. So they're very, very strict on hours. Like, we need to make sure that we count our hours, because that all counts towards the grade that you would get for this module. They gave us a booklet of all the different conditions that we can find in geriatric medicine. They were so nice to us, my supervisor and everyone else at the hospital that's organizing things. They sent like a booklet to us to read. So I'm going to spend this weekend just reading over it, and also just familiarizing myself with conditions that commonly affects the older people. And then I also need to familiarize myself with clinical skills like cardiovascular exams, respiratory exams, and all of that, because I think I've forgotten to do all of those things. That my exam was so long ago, back in July, so I think I need to refresh my memories.
So these are the notes that I made for geriatric medicine when we covered this system last year. And what I've been doing is I've just been going over these notes, going over the learning objectives that we got from the university, and also going over the notes that I received from the hospital, just going over the different conditions and what they've asked us to learn and prep for in preparation for the placement on Monday. And sometimes when I study, I like to listen to music, and other times I like to listen to podcast episodes as well. Some of you may know I am a writer, so I'm just listening to this Christian indie writers podcast all about self-editing your novel. So yeah,
Hello everyone. So it's currently about 6 4:27 p.m. now, and I just got back from uni, but I thought that I would show you guys quickly all the things that I've gotten to help me prepare for starting placement on Monday. If you watched my ward taster video, you would know that I complained a lot about my feet hurting so much when I went round with the doctor for the ward round, and I said I was going to get comfortable shoes. So when I asked the current PAs that on our course, the qualified PAs, they told me to check the office and Clark's as well. So I went to Clark's a few days ago and I got really comfortable shoes. So these are my placement shoes. When I went there were quite a few nurses as well and doctors who were coming to buy shoes from there as well. These ones are so comfortable, and yeah, the heels are so, like, they're not too bad, and it's so soft inside as well. So I'm looking forward to wearing this on placement. Hopefully my feet wouldn't hurt. And so this is my bag, my little bag that I've packed, which I'm hoping to take with me around the hospital. And let me just show you guys quickly what I've packed in the bag. So I got a notebook today. Honestly, I would rather have a much smaller notebook, but I forgot to buy a smaller notebook during the week because they usually sell one in our SU shop, and that's the smaller ones I used to use for GP placement, my placement logbooks. But I forgot to buy that, so I had to buy this today. It's not a lot, so when I run out I'm gonna get a smaller one, but a notebook is, you know, a complete essential, because when I clerk patients or when I have to write down stuff to learn or look up later, I'm gonna need this notebook. So that's my notebook. And I've got my stethoscope, which fits inside the bag. Like, having it around my neck might look cool for a few hours, but it gets really annoying sometimes. Like, every time I'm in GP, it's always on and off and on and off. So I don't think I would want to have it around my neck all day. So I'm glad that it can fit in my bag. And then I have got Vaseline. Okay, this is very, very important because I don't want to be having chapped lips. I don't want to be talking to patients with chapped lips. So this, I'm going to always have that with me, hopefully. And then I've got my it's called a nurse's watch. I think this is really useful, especially if you're well, helps you to know the time, since you're not allowed to wear wristwatches, and technically you shouldn't have your phone with you, but then, you know, you can know the time using this. And also when you're doing obs for the patient, like respiratory rate and heart rate and stuff, when you're examining them, you need this. And what else is in there? Obviously pens. I've got loads of pens just in case they stop work, well, like one stops working. This deodorant, you know, you never know when you might need this. So yeah, I think that's it. That's all I've got in here. Obviously I'm gonna have my ID and all of that stuff. Oh, and finally, hand cream. So this is the one I currently have now, which I'm currently using, which is the Avon Faraway. Well, it's a body lotion, but it's really good for the hands as well. And I have this Garnier hand 7 days restoring hand cream. I wanted a really small one, so I don't know, I think I would probably next week, during the week, I'll buy a much smaller one so I can carry it around in my bag. I think these ones are good, but they're quite big, so I need to buy a smaller one. But anyway, yes, those are the things that I have currently packed for placement. And finally, I'm just going to talk to you guys quickly about how I'm feeling for placement. I promised in last week's vlog that I was going to tell you guys exactly how I'm feeling. So you guys probably know that I very much prefer GP because that's my thing, and I was quite comfortable there, and I really love the fact that my university does only GP placements in first year. So because of that, I was a bit biased in terms of how I felt towards starting hospital placements. So obviously I wasn't looking forward to it because it pushed me out of my comfort zone. But these last 3 weeks where we've been learning all these different special topics, like how to take blood, how to do an ABG, how to cannulate, how to catheterize, and do all these things, have got me really excited. I think it's quite fun when you're practicing and doing it on models, but obviously it's going to be a very scary experience doing it on actual people and actual patients. But learning all these things have kind of encouraged me and helped me to look forward to placement more, because I know that I can only get better at doing these things if I practice on real life patients. I've moved from not being as nervous as I was before, and I'm actually looking forward to it. One of the reasons why I'm looking forward to it is because unlike GP, where I was the only student at my practice, in hospital, most of my placement I'm going to be with other students from my university, as also other PA students and probably other medical students, you know, from St. George's and other universities. So I'm not going to be on my own, even though it's a busier environment and, you know, scarier, but there's going to be other students as well I'm going to be working with. So I'm grateful for that because I'm not going to be alone. And also our supervisor is really nice, at least for my first place rotation, care of the elderly. So I'm looking forward to that as well, because I know that they're going to ease us into it, hopefully. So yeah. Just a few things to say, that I will not be vlogging in hospital during my secondary care placements or hospital placements, and I will not be doing any weekly vlogs like I've been doing, you know, throughout my first year in the past. This is because from Monday all the way to August, every single week I'm going to be in hospital, and I don't want to vlog in hospital because I want to minimize the risk of me mistakenly, you know, breaking patient confidentiality or something like that. So I'm not going to be vlogging in hospital. What I'm going to do instead is that at the end of each placement, I'm going to do a video, so like a bulk video, where I'm going to talk to you guys about my experience and some tips and what I've learned from that placement to help you guys if you guys are starting that placement as well. Obviously I'm going to there will be a few clips here and there and some pictures from the time when I was in that placement, but I will not be doing daily, like vlogging daily like I've been doing for the past year. So I just thought I'll let you guys know. I am excited though, because it will give me an opportunity to do more PA school related videos, like videos to do with the application process. So if you have any questions about the application process, like personal statement writing or choosing what PA school to go to, or interview tips and all of that, let me know in the comments down below. And if you have any other questions as well about PA school, about anything at all, placement, all of that, just leave them down in the comments below and I will make videos and answer these questions. And also, because this is a faith and lifestyle channel, there's also going to be other faith related videos as well. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to let you guys know. Pray for me, guys. Yeah, hopefully my first 3-week placement would be great. I'm gonna update you guys obviously as soon as I finish my 3-week placement, my geriatric placement. I will upload a video to let you guys know about my experience. So yeah, please keep me in your prayers. I'm praying for you guys as well. You know, if you want to email me. If you want to leave a comment down below, leave a comment down below. Please do subscribe if you like the content. I don't really tell people to subscribe. I just realized I don't really tell people to subscribe. I don't persuade people to subscribe, because I feel like if you like the content, then you would automatically subscribe if you want more. But you know, it encourages me to keep going. So if you do like the content, please like the video, please leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys, and also subscribe as well. Thank you guys so much for your encouragement and all your support and all your kind words. I love you guys so much. Have a lovely day and God bless. Bye.
Also in the name of Jesus, I'm free. Oh yeah, I'm free. I found my freedom. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. It is a wonderful something. I'm free. I'm just saying thank you. I'm free. I found my freedom. Praise the Lord.